Hi everybody, I'm here. I've had a shower. I am warm and dry and oh gosh, that was rough out there today. Definitely one of those days where people come first. Buildings we can fix, whatever any damage occurs, we'll fix it. But main thing is everyone stays safe. So I thought we'll do a different kind of video today, and I came up with the idea yesterday when I was doing part run. And I wanted to sort of explain why I'm so obsessed with sport and why we invested so much in Park Run. Because I realised I've done about 188 of those since I started volunteering with that. And we brought it to Anchor 3 or 4 years ago. And it sort of reminded me about the Sports Village project as well. And then it took me back even further as to something that's very close to my heart, chiseled in my DNA, and that was my time in Zimbabwe coaching cricket and all the things I learned there. So I thought it'd be a nice chance to explain a little bit about my past and how that links into the present and the future. So I'll start with present day. So as you'll be aware, we're leafleting thousands of leaflets all over the place when the weather allows us to. I think Anita and me are out tomorrow doing that. But on the big headline there is we've got a sports village concept, and that basically is really simple. You take what you've got, and we're really lucky because on Devonshire Road, just outside of Anchor in Norbury, we've got Tea Time Golf, who you've seen me talking to there. So it's a driving range, putting greens. They're having crazy golf. They've got darts in there. They've got snooker in there. It's becoming a real community hub. But also next to that, you've got cricket wicket. And I think Stanley third team play there, which is amazing to see cricket. You've also got an archery club. There's football next door to it as well. There's a rugby club, rugby union that is. And so it's a real hub of sporting activities. And what we decided to do is encourage some investment, and Julie's done a great job on this. We will do an interview with Julie, but we've encouraged some investment into the infrastructure, so new paths, a new road getting into it, and then our role now is to work with all those clubs, see what support they need financially, what grants are available, and then link all of that together with the community. So how do you access cricket? How do you access archery? How do you access rugby, golf, darts, football? How do you join? Regardless of your age, regardless of your background, gender, all those things, how do you join? And we signpost people to them. These guys know what they're doing. Their members go up, people get healthier, and you've got a healthier, happier community. That's basically the plan. And this is why linking back to what I've done in the past will show you why that actually works. Now bear with me because I'm really thirsty as well. No change there. Um, mm. So how did I come up with this sort of idea? So back in when I was 20, I was a bit of a rascal, and I left England and I went to South Africa. So this was at the end of apartheid, and it was a mad time. And I was like, oh, that sounds an interesting place to go and explore. Went to South Africa, absolutely terrified. It was quite a dangerous place at the time. Bits of it I really enjoyed, bits of it I didn't. And if anybody's been to Johannesburg, 1994, you'll know what I mean. So I did what the locals would say. I gapped it, and then I went north, caught a train, Trans-Limpopo Express, caught a train up to Bulawayo, and then Harare, and I loved it. I love Zim. Amazing place, very British, old-fashioned British, if I'm honest. It was the best of Zimbabwe at the time. And I saw this amazing place, great opportunities, and I loved it. So when I came back, I finished my degree, did a load of work around employment structures and so on, which is a different story, which I'll entertain you about one day. But then I learned I wanted to go back. I wanted to emigrate there. So I worked, got a job, I saved loads of money, and I went back 1998, and I'm now 24. So I just had no idea where I was going. I just knew I wanted to live out there, coach cricket, live the dream. That was the plan. Those sort of things you do when you're young and a bit reckless. So went over, and I wrote to like different schools and so on. And I ended up in a place called Mutare. So that's on the, I put a map up of this, that's on the eastern border with Mozambique. It's a proper border town, and I really like that because anything went, and it was my sort of place. Everyone was really friendly. There weren't many white people there, so I stood out, and everybody welcomed me and was really kind to me. So I wrote different letters. I got some replies back from different schools, and one of the responses I got was this incredible fella called Joel Muzea. Joel is an incredible guy. He was running a coaching program of cricket in the high density areas, what we would call townships, what they call them high density areas there. And Joel and me got to work. So Joel was already working there. That was his job. I was a volunteer cricket coach. So I helped him, and I ran some coaching in different schools. Mainly the area that I covered was a high density area called Sakuva. And the two schools I covered were Dangari and Chisamba. And they were great places. Really like them. Two great headmasters and a headmistress. It's a lady called Mrs. Sachi Conway, who was an incredible headmistress. Really taught me a lot because I was still very young and slightly adventurous. So we set about coaching the children, and as I talk, I'll put some of the pictures up of me and the different coaching areas and some of the kids and so on that we were working with, and it was absolutely fantastic. And what we did was the model was really simple. We taught cricket to kids who didn't have access to it. We gave them the opportunity to learn, and then anyone that was good, we then gave them access to get a bursary at a school which had a cricket ground, and that was Mutare Boys High. And then the bursary there would then link them to a high performance program. This was the plan. So you're taking kids with no opportunity and then giving them as good an opportunity as anybody out there, and also giving people opportunities just to enjoy the game, and all the benefits that come from that. And that was a wonderful, wonderful program. We had a big like a league for the different schools. There was another high density area, Dangambura, which Joel covered, and I did Sakuva. And between us, it was brilliant fun. It really was. And then we did some coaching up at Mutare Boys High School, which was like a private school, but it was more affordable. But you still have to be wealthy to send your children there. And then we took those children from Mutare Boys, and we went and had a tournament against schools like Churchill, St Edwards, sorry, Prince Edwards, I should say, sorry. And these were like the Eatons and Harrow of school. So we were like the Bash Street kids, and I got some pictures of that as well. And that was a fantastic moment, again, about creating opportunity. And these were sort of, it's amazing what you learn when you're young without even realizing what you're learning. So take a step back from that now. You realize actually giving kids opportunities, giving children that access to a sport they would never see, working with lots of different people, you're enriching people's lives, the communication skills, the access to information, access to wider areas, geography wise, and so on. It's enriching people, and so all those kids did well in all other areas of their lives as well. And that was the model that we wanted to capture here, because there is another element to this story. And one day back it was during COVID, it was just before COVID, I saw on Twitter this most amazing thing. And it was a tweet saying three lads from Mutare were playing test cricket from Zimbabwe. For Zimbabwe against, I think it was against Afghanistan. And so this would be about 5 years ago. And I was like, double take, like, what? Mutare kids playing test cricket? And I had a look who they were, and I was like, oh my God, they were from our program. And they were kids from Dangambura, so not the ones that I'd coached, but they were part of the same program that Joel had done. And this investment in young people had got these kids from there to there, and that was nothing short of a miracle. It was nothing to do with what they were drinking in the water. It was purely because of the opportunity and structure that had been given them, and I was blown away by it. And again, picture of those lads, it should be up there now. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I reached out to the guy who put the pictures up and said about I was involved in that program, and he hooked me back up with Joel again. So Joel and me are now Facebook buddies. Joel's got children now, and he's still involved with coaching cricket as well, which is nothing short of a miracle. Bearing in mind the reason I never stayed in Zimbabwe was obviously what came in 2000. And there were signs that even there, I remember there were strike days regularly when I was there, and inflation was just about to start. And it breaks my heart to see what happened to it. But if it hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have ended up in Blackpool. I would have been in Zimbabwe by now, probably. Zimbabwe's lost Blackpool's game. But all of those things from Zimbabwe have helped me no end in saying why sport matters, which takes us back to where we are today, which is why I'm involved with Park Run, why we're investing in those young people, and why we still invest in sport in East Pines, and also now the Sports Village project, which will cover everything from in the north of Blackpool. Massive opportunities that people aren't even aware that exist. So I know in 20 years' time we will produce an England national performer in a sport. My prediction is it's going to be running. We'll know in about 10 years' time if I'm right. I won't say any more on that. But you can see where the talent's going at the moment, and there is some real talent out there because they now have access to running through Junior Park Run. And in time, we'll do that with the other sports that we have. So yeah, that was a little summary of my background and how that sort of educated me really, not just about sport, but all sorts of politics. I learned so much, and it's probably shaped my politics more than anything. And so you'll occasionally hear me reference Zimbabwe, um, but they were generally great days for me. Probably until where I am now, that was my happiest in life, and where I am now is also my happiest in life. So it's like the two sort of places have come together a bit really, and that's this anything goes. Let's make it happen. Take risks, be brave, be bold, and call the bad things out, and embrace every moment because life's so short, and that's roughly where I am in life now. So yeah, that was a little summary of my life and how that affects um, politics and sport in Blackpool. And many people won't be aware, but there's a big part of Zimbabwe beavering away here in Blackpool, and that's purely because of the education that I received out there, and it was life education. Great skills, great times. So I will let you go. Be really interested to hear your thoughts, and if you've ever been to Zimbabwe or been involved in any coaching programs and so on, or what your thoughts are on what works. We're all still learning, so I'm really keen to hear what your thoughts are, and yeah, that would be really interesting to hear. So comment below, and I will do a video tomorrow. I'm out and about with Anita tomorrow, so I'll do a little catch up with her, and we'll see how she's getting on. All right, guys, you take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.